Hey there, this is Evan Rowe for Saving Content, and today we're going to be taking a quick preview of Temtem, the new Pokemon-like game from Humble. This has been making the rounds recently and is getting a lot of traction for good reason, so let's just dive in. I'm going to pick up a save file I've already got going. The game supports mouse and keyboard by default. It supports controllers, and it has button layouts for Xbox controllers, DualShock controllers, and Nintendo Switch controllers, which is kind of nice. Depending on what your preference is, you can kind of go with whatever, and the game will actually show you the right buttons, which is kind of a nice touch. So here we are in one of the game's earlier villages. This is my Temtem tamer as opposed to trainer, right? And I've got my first Temtem, my Temtem buddy, kind of following around behind me. One of the first things you're going to notice here is there's a lot of people in the world around here, right? Like, these are all other players in real time running around, which is really cool. It gives the world a much more lived in and active feeling, which is kind of a nice change of pace from classic Monster Collection games, Pokemon games you may have played in the past. Let's see what this NPC has to say. It's a wonderful day for swimming, isn't it? I don't know. A lot of good flavor text in here. You can have conversations with the locals. I prefer surfing. I don't know. A lot of flavor text. There's a lot of people to interact with and side quests to pick up. If we hit the M key, we can bring up the map here. So this kind of shows you just the size of this area. We started way down here in the bottom and kind of fought and collected Temtem all our way up here. The game opens with like kind of a lot of the staples of what you would expect from a Pokemon game, right? Like, you wake up in your house and you meet up with the professor, and the professor gives you the chance to take your first Temtem because, hey, you've reached a special coming of age day of some kind. So it's, kind of all out of the core tropes of what one of these games starts out with. And you have your rival, right, who's your friend, but who maybe takes the rivalry a little more seriously than you do. Things just kind of get off to a roaring start. Okay, so I am supposed to go find the dojo in the next town. So let's go do that. I think all my items are stocked up. Let's have a look. So I've got some stamina recharging items. I've got a revival. Balm is the main healing item. I'm actually going to go buy a few more of those before we head out. Transitions are crazy fast, which is really nice. I mean, this is one of the benefits of the game running on the PC is it is just lightning quick across the board. Oh, I don't want that many. Let's just get two. All right. Oh, and I should check the status of my squad before we head out. So these are the Temtem that I have in my squad. I've got a Smazy, and a Tuwai, and a Pajaro, a Swally, a Teteru. You'll notice that the game uses like a gender system, which is kind of similar to what you might find in some other Pokemon games. It's also got these 3 bars on all of them, right? So they've got health, they've got stamina, and then experience. Those are all kind of what you would expect, right? The stamina is what controls what Temtem can do in fights and what actions they can perform. Once we get into some battles, I'll talk a little bit more about how that works. The other thing that's kind of cool about this game is you can customize your character kind of at any time. I've only got some of the starting clothing and gear options, but you can go and change your style whenever you want. Oh, there's emotes. I hadn't even played with these yet. Yeah, just little quick communication options for talking to other players. So, hey, look, it's tall grass. If you've ever played one of these kinds of games before, then you know what this means, right? Random encounters. Speaking of which. Alright, so we're going to chuck our cards in the air. And here come our monsters. Amazing. So at the beginning of this fight, I've only got 2 of my 4 attacks available, and that's because some of these have to take time to charge up before you can use them. You can see that they have a certain number of stamina points devoted to them, so depending on which one of these I choose, it will require more of the stamina energy, as opposed to like, you know, a Pokemon game where typically you've got like a certain number of times you can perform a move before you stop being able to do it. This just uses your stamina gauge, and your stamina gauge recharges between fights. And once you deplete that gauge, you can still perform actions, but it'll hurt your Temtem and like actually take their hit points down pretty significantly by kind of exhausting them. So in that case, you would want to use the rest option, or maybe swap them out for another one, or use an item to get their stamina back up. So Sand's kick is like your basic melee attack, right? It does kind of exactly what you think it's going to do. It shows you how much damage an attack is going to do. It shows you what the priority order is when you use it, which is kind of a nice thing. It gives you an idea of like, hey, am I going to be able to get this in before my enemies can attack? And sometimes that might be important if you're really low on health. Sand Splatter, it's kind of like the super cheap and, you know, dirty move where like, I'm going to toss sand in your face. The priority is lower, so I'm going to go ahead and just open up with a kick on this guy. And then my 2i has a peck, which is like super high priority. This thing tends to beat out most of the other moves. Feather Gatling is cool. It's just a really strong attack, but it takes a lot of stamina. Windblade is like another decent, like kind of better than average hitter, but lower priority. So we'll go with Peck again. The game has kind of like an elemental system, as you might expect, right? So there's a Temtem of different types. So the Smazzy is like a melee type. I want to say 2i is flying. That would make sense, right? Choose the target, and let's... Oh, Shrill Voice is kind of a neat one. If I remember right, this hits everybody. So let's just scream at all of the people, except now that I've knocked one out, but that's fine. So this attack would normally hit multiple enemies, which is kind of cool. And then interestingly, like, you'll get experience as you defeat a Temtem right at the end of that round, as opposed to at the end of the battle, which is nice because, you know, it gives Temtem the opportunity to level up as the fight goes on. So we'll do... What's the deal with Tail Strike again? Oh, that's right. Tail Strike is a multi-enemy hit. Let's throw sand on this guy's face. And then, what does this do? Do I have the stamina for this? I have 14 left, so no. And it shows you... So when you're going to use a move that takes more stamina than you have left, it'll show you on your health gauge exactly how much damage you'll take from performing that move, which is kind of a nice added touch. Let's go ahead and hit him with the Windblade. Sand in the face! Here we go. We win. Man, those transitions are just very, very quick. It's a really nice thing to see. So, okay, that's another player up. These transition screens are really nice. Oh, I haven't seen one of these before. So, great. Let's try and capture this one. So, this works pretty much exactly how you would expect. We're going to take one round to just whittle its health down. And it's level 6, so even though we're level 11, we're not going to all-out kill it in one round. And now we can go into our bag and grab a Tem card, and then we're just going to have the 2i wait. I'm just going to sit tight. So here we go. And it does some crazy digital computer magic. Oh no, we didn't get it. Wasn't enough. So you will notice though when resting, the stamina gauge refills. So that's a... I know we mentioned that earlier, but again, you can see the stamina points on 2i are back up to the top. So let's... Oof, how much damage is this gonna do? 32? I don't know if he's got 32 damage left in him. And I can't... if there's a way to switch between which Temtem I'm gonna have go, I can't tell what it is. So Tail Strike will do 50, that's way too much. Alright, so we'll just go with one kick. And then we'll have a rest again. Actually, we should bomb on 2Y just to make sure 2Y is happy and healthy. Yeah, that's fine. We'll try again on the next one we find. Okay, so I've learned a new move, Show Off. What does it do? No damage, but it's an attack boost. So it's just casting a quick buff, which is kind of nice, but then I have to sacrifice one of my other abilities. I'm gonna be honest, I don't actually really like Martial Strike all that much. It hits hard. Actually, I take it back. That's a good one. That one's worth keeping. And this one actually uses like the melee type of attack. You can sort of see the elements for attack, like move type codes with the color on them, but then also the symbol that's in the upper left corner of the description box. I think this is an earth type move. Sand Splatter's okay. It does like a little bit of damage. It has a chance to daze, I think, but I'm not in love with it. So rather than being the person who is a jerk and throws sand at people in the face, let's swap out for Show Off. Alright, successful battle. Let's move on. As you move through the world and progress, you'll meet, let's see, more. Oh, this is a climber. Yeah, so there's climbing shoes you can get that'll let you go up these surfaces. Like, it seems like you're going to unlock the ability to do more types of traversal as you work through the game. I'm gonna go up these stairs. This is kind of fun. Really bright and colorful animated art style, which is nice. Okay, so one of these two is probably going to challenge me to a fight. Yep. So as you work through the interstitial areas between towns, you will get challenged by other Temtem tamers. Where am I going? Here. Sure, great. Yeah, I don't have anything else going on, obviously. Okay, so we can go ahead and try Show Off out right now. Let's see what happens. That's gonna, I don't know if that's gonna buff both of us or just the one, but we'll see. And I just want to show off this ridiculous move and maybe one-shot one of them. Okay, so attack up just for the Temtem to cast it. That makes sense. And boom. Ah, almost killed him. Alright, so we're gonna have Smazzy heal itself, and then most of my moves are gonna be, that's right, let's just peck this fool out. And so with the different move types, like there's different types of Temtem. It uses a really similar like rock, paper, scissors times 8 kind of system that you would see in other Pokemon games. So, you know, try to remember, they have a lot of like really similar types, but not all the same ones. So there's like a fire type, there's like an earth or a rock type, there's a crystal, there's melee, there's I don't think they call it psychic, I think they call it mental. There's a digital type, which is some fancy new kind that has only just recently been discovered in this world. And they have just about the effects you would expect. There's water type, right? You're going to have that. So water overpowers fire, fire overpowers nature, nature overpowers something. Alright, so let's try and take these fools out. You've got some stamina to spare. We're just going to go ahead and... Actually, do you? Yeah, you do. Try and get this one out of here. Oops, did not target the same one. Very smart play over here. High level Temtem trainer. Now, the next time 2i attacks, boy, I am just really on it today. Oop, I think 2i is down for the count. Laters. Alright, so let's pick another one to bring in now. All the rest of my Temtem are kind of low level. Swally is more of like a defensive, like buff-based Temtem, so I'm not going to do that. We'll do... I like the bird. Very weak, but that's okay. Let's give it a chance. So... Definitely going to take that one out. And then, what does Stare do? No damage. Defense slower on the Temtem that's targeted. I think we can just safely assume we're going to win this round. Although they do have one more Temtem card to toss out. Oh, there we go. Get Pahara some levels here. Alright, there's the last one. Let's get my mouse cursor out of the way. Okay. So... we can kind of do whatever we want here. Let's just go for the heavy-hitting moves. What does Hypnosis do? Again, yeah, so... Pahara is more about status effects. Defense down. Asleep for 2 turns. That's gnarly. If I was worried about this big epic, I would probably think about using that, but... ain't no thing. Yes, we sure did win. That's the way it goes. Oh, jeez. Random battle. Was not expecting. That's another one of these. Alright. So, rather than stick around and fight this fight that we don't really need to take on, let's just run. Bye. Okay. So now I'm going to go into the backpack and I'm going to revive... Actually, let's check the map first. So I am kind of in this region. Oh, I'm pretty close to... oh, no, I'm not. So there's a shop. Let's bring the cursor out. So there's a shop over here, like a midpoint, where I would probably be able to buy... is that the same icon as the... no, it's a different one. Oh, there's something going on over here. Maybe that's the dojo? Maybe that's a shop? I'm not sure. Usually... so halfway between the starting city, which was down here, and the city that we eventually arrived at, that we just left from, there was this midpoint here, right, where you could kind of recharge your Temtem, revive them, buy a couple items, right? So it's a little shop in between the major settlements. I'm guessing we'll encounter another one of those somewhere in this region before we get likely up here. And it looks like there's a whole bunch of map that I haven't even explored over in this area. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's get out of here. So because they don't see anything nearby, let's go ahead and use that revive on 2Y. And then we'll heal. Okay. And let's do another Temtem Tamer battle. I'm just passing through. It's cool. Yeah, they're very aggressive. The locals just cannot get enough fighting. Okay, so we'll just let's try an attack buff on Smazzy, and then let's have 2i do a cool Feather Blade. Wind Blade. Now, as you might expect, like Wind Blade and Water Blade are both, you know, elemental-based move types, but none of the Temtem out here seem to be vulnerable particularly to any of the others types, which is sort of handy for our purposes. So now that we've got the show off and the attack buff on Smazzy, let's see if the let's pull out the Tail Strike actually, right? Because this is going to do 50 damage, I think, to both. Oh no, it won't. That's weird. Sweep the board. They make it sound like it's going to do multiple targets. That's fine. Let's just do a peck. Smack. And Tail Strike. And you're done. So if you look in the upper right corner over here, you can see some cards from the opponent's Tamer, and that shows you how many they've got left in the battle. So now we just need to finish this one off. Let's pull out the big guns. Let's do a Martial Strike, and then can I do this? Without hurting myself? Yes, just barely. I literally have 17 points left. 40, 100. Yeah, let's just do it. What could possibly go wrong? Boom. We win. See, that's great. Get my stamina back for the next fight? No, Aziza, it is not your brightest day. Not everyone 57 suns. I don't know. Some kind of currency. What does that even mean? There's another one. Okay, so let's see. So tall grass up here. Let's look at the map again. Okay, so I could go. Okay, so there's probably an item hidden down here. So let's go check that out, actually. And we'll need to do one more fight, more than likely. So let's heal up again. And yep, sure enough, that'll trigger a fight. Yeah, who is her? Temtemology. By the way, my name is Pow. Actually, yeah, let's. Doesn't want to talk about Temtemology. That's weird. I could talk about Temtemology all day. Okay, so we'll just run through this one quick. I'll do a Windblade. I do sort of sometimes wish that the game had like a speed up button to like go through these at 2x. The game moves pretty fast and battles are quick, right? And you know, attacks and moves are all animated, which is really nice. Like there's a really rich feeling of like actually being here and the battle playing out in front of you, which is cool. But when you're getting into a lot of these battles over and over again, it would be sort of nice to move through them. But hey, you know, the game's in early access. There's some good opportunity for systems to continue being built and improved. But I do really like the flow of these fights. Things do move pretty quick. Alright, so they're going to throw another card out. We're going to do this song and dance again. I think... Can I do like one more round? Yeah, I can probably do one more round of attacks before I have to swap them out. Pretty good. Pretty good. Well, and then at that rate, I think we are clear to just finish this fight out with these two. It's going to be close. Oh, okay. I did not even see the poison effect hit before. That's not great. So let's swap that one out with Pajaro. And we'll do the Windblade again. Okay, so Pajaro is going to go ahead and do its thing. And then we've got just enough stamina left for Tuwai to do an attack without hurting itself. Boom. Cool, everyone gets a little experience there. Alright, let's just run down here real quick. Gonna run through the grass. Oh, nope, that's just the cliff from before. Okay, so cute little shortcut. I don't have one of these yet. Let's see if we can whittle it down. And hopefully it attacks Tuwai and not Smazzy. Oh yeah. Oh, see you later, monkey. Alright, let's see if we can't demonstrate this capture properly this time. Go into our bag, pull out a Tem card, and then you're just gonna sit around, I think. You're gonna rest up. I like this effect a lot. It's pretty nice. There we go. Look at that. There's a pig in a card. Amazing. We can put it in our squad. We can let it go. If you're like a catch and release type, we can rename it to whatever we want. I'm still learning all these animals, so I'm gonna animals. I'm still learning all these things, so I'm gonna keep the name as it is, and we're gonna put it in the squad because hey, maybe we'll want to pull the pig epic out on our own later. Hello, JTH. Good to see you in the grass. Yeah, alright, I am gonna bolt from this fight, I think. The game controls pretty nicely on mouse and keyboard as well. It's about what you would expect. You don't get, so if you go to WASD movement on the keyboard, you can get 8-way movement sort of by holding multiple keys down, but it's a little clunky. The joystick on the controller feels a little nicer for that. So let's do some healing real quick. Get 2-eye back up. And we'll just keep rolling with these bird fellas, I suppose. Oh, good, another fight. You look interesting. Yeah, that's me. Oh, sure, Carmen. We know Carmen, right? We don't know Carmen. Yeah. Great. Okay, I guess we're going to have a lot of conversation here. Ooh, learning how to use my nature Temtem. And the obligatory battle. We get to see a couple more new ones. At least maybe the one on the right. Alright, we got a Team Bird here. I don't trust this one. I don't know what it does, and it makes me nervous. So we're going to attack it first. Stare, defense down. Okay. I like the idea of this one just giving it the old side eye. Oh, that attack was nothing. Oh yeah, that's menacing. My defense would also go down, I think. Okay, so Pajaro's poisoned for three turns. Great, love that. Let's go ahead and pull the Windblade out. And then so in Hypnosis is, oh, that's sleep. Right. You'll notice down here in the cards display, like there's a status effect on this card for Pajaro since it's poisoned, which is kind of cool. Okay, so Windblade, you'll notice on the Low-a-Lie, let's call it Low-a-Lie, was like only hit it for half, right? That little half showed up. So wind is not particularly effective against whatever type Low-a-Lie is, which I'm guessing is nature, but what do I know? So let's try and knock that out. Okay, see you later. Shy Shields, defense up, great. Oh, that poison sucks. Oh, and hey look, we just learned Windblade on another bird. Shocking. Well, if wind is truly not effective on nature types, that's going to make this fight a little more frustrating. But we'll deal. Let's do a peck. Can we swap this out for, I don't know, something else? I'm a little surprised that it doesn't show the type of Temtem from the screen, right? But I suppose the type is dependent more on the attacks. Except obviously, like, attack types or move types are more effective on certain types of Temtem. So it's interesting that they don't show an icon for that there, but I suppose you're just expected to know. So we'll just kind of run through this. Ah, man, another poison. That is a bummer. The good news is that all this thing is really doing is casting poison, and the poison doesn't hit for that much damage. This is going to get rough pretty fast. And this is kind of where my laziness in... Yeah, see, now there we go. Pajaro... Not Pajaro, sorry. Whatever that thing was tried to use a move on us, but it was out of stamina, so it ended up taking itself out. Thank goodness. And then the status effects... oh, that's right! Okay, great. So perfect. The game has reminded us of a fairly important item. So Temtem has this concept of a Temessence vial. It's basically an Estus flask from Dark Souls. So it's like a one-shot heal all. Health, stamina, all status conditions healed. What I don't know... Yeah, check that out. You can recharge it by using a healing machine, just like some other games. It's like Pokemon Souls. Is that even... Okay, it's in here. what's not clear is whether this revives. And I'm guessing it doesn't, but I don't have any revives. So let's just use this thing. Maybe it'll work. And what's cool also is that like those poison status effects stick with the Temtem across fights. So this Temessence vial is going to clear that out. Boom. Hey, check that out. It revives too. Wonderful. So this charge is gone. But the next time we get to a healing machine... Ooh, I kind of want one of these. Let's see if we can catch it. Next time we get to a healing machine, we can recharge our Temessence vial. And then have another, like... Okay, let's just heal everybody up. Ordinarily, I probably wouldn't want to use it so early in the phases between cities like this. But I also really wanted my main crew back, so what are you going to do? Throw a Tem card out, you're going to wait. Oh no, it broke. Alright, let's give it another shot. See if maybe it'll cooperate this time. But we're going to switch this up and have you rest. We'll use the Tem card on 2Y's turn. As you can see, the Tem card has a higher priority than other actions. Okay, so I guess you know, it's one of two things. Oh man, double effective. That's rough. So I either don't have it whittled down enough to capture it, or it is just resistant to this type of Tem card and I need something a little beefier. Fortunately, that was enough to knock it out, so we'll have to get one a little later. Probably the smarter thing to do might have been to swap out for a different Temtem. Hey, cool, look, surfers. I need a surfboard. Man. Okay, so this looks like another... Oh, yep, that's the halfway point, so let's go ahead and do this fight. And then we can do... can show off what this little resting zone looks like. This is kind of nice, you know, there's a lot of world building here, like you get to feel like these characters are really motivated by fighting. But, you know, it feels very populated and lived in, and again, like, not just from seeing the other Temtem tamers out in the world, but from seeing the other people, the other players. That part is really neat. Alright, let's do a kick and a peck. Gonna take my defense or my attack down. That's all right. So the sand splatter, like the earth attack, is half as effective on a wind type. So lucky for me. I've never fought another one of these things before. Let's just give it everything we got. Okay, so that makes sense. Not particularly vulnerable to its own type of attack. Laters. Wow, that thing seems neat. Oh, dang. Okay, so apparently not to be trifled with. Alright, Pajaro. Pajaro is going to stare real hard. And then we're going to Wind Blade on this thing, and hopefully it'll... Okay, it's pretty good. Okay, it takes its defense down. Oh no, that's what I was going to do next turn. Oh no. Alright, Wind Blade. And then there's nothing you can do, so we'll just rest. Ooh. Okay. Alright, we should get it on the next one. Really? Oh, sure, because it's mental, so physical attacks are probably not as effective on it. Very interesting. Alright, what do we learn? Wind Burst. 90 damage, 12 stamina. As opposed to... Yeah, I'm gonna swap that out. That seems good. Too bad. That was a cool Temtem you had. Okay, what is this? Whip? Oh, work in progress content. So this is the sort of fun thing about the early access build is... Well, that's weird. There's like a quest marker on here, but I can't do anything with it. With the early access build, there are some of these points that you'll reach where they just haven't actually implemented the thing. You can pet the Temtem. That's nice. And so they'll straight up tell you, like, yeah, this isn't here yet. So, anyway, we got a little ways left to go, but I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what this game is about. I'm really excited to see how they continue building it going forward, and I think it's a blast to play already. So, if you're on the fence, give it a look. But this has been Temtem. Thanks for joining.